I've come across a lot of yoga teachers lately who I've spoken to, who I've chatted with on social media, who are disillusioned with the fact that yoga has become more of a gimmick to get people to come and participate in something like playing with goats or drinking beer or, having wine or playing with puppies. And this actually has nothing to do with yoga. And also, the people who are getting attention in the quote unquote yoga realm seem to be those who are really good at doing beautiful poses. And even I've noticed a lot of yogis or yoga presenting people on the internet who were giving out good messages. And when they realized that they were becoming more popular, the more sexual their posts were, I stopped following them, and I realized that, they were more about self-promotion than they really were about yoga. And it's upsetting, and it's not just upsetting to me, it's upsetting to a lot of other yoga teachers, especially young yoga teachers who go through their first yoga teacher training, their first 200-hour course, and they learn the principles of yoga. They finally learn the 8 limbs. They start learning the texts and the principles of how to behave and the history and the philosophy. And they start to understand that yoga is a life path, and it is, the postures are really there to help keep us healthy. They're not a performance. They're a cleanse. And when they see people using quote unquote yoga poses and calling it yoga as a performance, it becomes really sad for people like me who want to spread the real message of yoga. And I don't even know how many times people have said, "Oh, you're a yoga teacher? I do yoga. I do hot power yoga." I said, "Really? That's wonderful. And what do you know about the 8 limbs of yoga?" And then they say, "What's that?" And then when I explain to them, which I usually don't, maybe usually in my head, to them that yoga isn't really about going to an exercise class in a hot, sweaty room day after day after day. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, your endorphins are getting released, but it's about being a good person and having a purpose in this life that is to shed light, to spread light, to help people awaken. And a lot of yoga teachers know this is their mission, to help people awaken to their own truth, to their own inner being, and stop living like robots. Stop living in reaction. We know this, but we have a hard time getting this message through to people who think that it's just an acrobatic performance. And people are attracted to that acrobatic performance, to that beautiful, well-chiseled person on the internet doing these amazing things with their body. Even I was offended when my sister-in-law sent me a video of this woman doing these incredible arm balances. And this woman was very fit, very muscular, very strong. She looked like she could have been a Cirque du Soleil performer. And she's like, "Can you do that?" And I was like, "No, that's not what I do. Yes, I can do some incredible things with my body, but that's not what yoga is." And it's very difficult sometimes to explain to people that, I don't even go in and really teach asana classes so much anymore. I taught asana classes for 2 decades. And what I prefer to teach now is Sanskrit chanting, philosophy, Ayurveda, the practices that cause you to look deeply within yourself to find out who you really are and why we're here and What is our purpose, and how can we spread this light to others? And I leave the asana teaching to some of the younger and the newer teachers who are starting out, who are running all over town, running all over their city, their area, going from studio to studio, teaching class to class. But after teaching yoga for more than 20 years, I find it so important to be able to teach the lessons of yoga, really digging into the 8 limbs, really studying Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, really starting to understand the lessons taught in the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata, really learning the lessons of Ayurveda so that you can be peaceful and calm in your body, so you can do the work of teaching others these same things. And if you're a yoga teacher and you're listening to this, you know how important it is to continue your studies, to continue your education. And for me, I firmly believe that if you are a dedicated yoga teacher and you really want to dive deep into what yoga really is, that union of the body and the soul, the ego and the inner being, you need to do it from the source. You need to learn the principles of yoga, and you need to come to India. But that doesn't mean just because you come to India, you're going to learn it. I know lots of yoga teachers that come to India that brag about being in India, and they still haven't learned anything. It's just become a pat on the back for them. I come to India all the time. I'm currently on my 8th trip to India, where I spend a minimum of 1 month. Most times I spend 6 weeks to 2 months. And I am practicing asana every single day, hard, difficult asanas, so that I can build my physical strength. I've done the flexibility work. It's time to build the strength. And when I build this physical strength, I build mental strength. And when I build mental strength, it helps me sit longer periods of time in deep meditation, connecting with my higher power, connecting with my inner being, and receiving the messages of pure, true guidance. So if you're a yoga teacher who's disillusioned with the quote-unquote yoga market, the way and the direction that yoga is going, fill your soul. Spend some time at an ashram. Spend some time in deep meditation. Find your way to India and a good, reputable yoga school. And spend some time there. Refresh yourself. I mean, there's lots of yoga retreats. And you know which ones are going to be good and which ones are, just vacation with asana. And one of the gifts that we have as yoga teachers is being able to self-reflect. Look deeply within ourselves and be able to change the things about ourselves that we do not like, so that we can be better for others, so that we can uplift others, so that when people are going through that first stage of learning yoga, which is usually the asanas, we can guide them to the next stage of learning the yamas and niyamas, practicing pratyahara, withdrawing of the senses, learning focus and meditation and dedication and the sacredness of this life. That is our duty. That is our job. That is our purpose. And if you're feeling disillusioned as a yoga teacher in this world today and now, know that you do have a higher purpose. And know that your message is important, even if it only reaches one other soul and it changes only one other life. You have done a great service in this world. So I want you to know that you are loved. I want you to know that you are seen. And I want you to know that people hear your message. Great yoga teachers out there of the world, do not become disillusioned with the mask or the shell of the attraction. Remember, there are people being attracted by these beautiful asanas, and maybe they're being filtered through that beauty of the asanas so that they can one day meet you, so that you can be their guru, you can be their teacher. My name is Maureen Dinkins. I love you all. Namaste.